Hello and welcome to the Sisel product call. This is Jackie Christensen. It is February 11, 2014, and this is a special call because we have a new product out, as you know. It's been out for a couple weeks now, Encompass 360. And I know many of you have a great interest in the Encompass 360. You're already taking the Triangle of Life, especially the Spectramax, and like me, you probably have questions about what to take and how much and other questions like that. So I'm going to address all that, and I think it's pretty clear now. Got some great answers, got some great information I'm going to share with you. So just a little bit of my background. I am a certified nutritionist, both a child nutritionist and a sports nutritionist. I'm also a personal trainer, and I've been with Sisel International for 2 years. I'm a 5-star master distributor, and I love supplementing. I love great products. I chose Sisel International 2 years ago because of the products. That was my number one reason. And number two reason was everything else just kind of fell into place. So I am very, very impressed with all the Sisel International products. I take them every day, literally take or use over 20 products a day, my husband too. And we have seen an increase in our health. My husband, Dana, he's 54. He has the cholesterol that he had when he was in his early 30s, over 20 years ago. And he was more healthy back then, as in he was more vigorous about exercising every day, and he didn't eat any sugar, and he didn't eat high fat. And, now he likes his pizza. He likes his ice cream. He's going to kill me for saying this, but he has ice cream every night. Yes, he does. But also he doesn't exercise as much. But yet his cholesterol is down over 20 points. That's amazing. That's amazing. These products are spectacular. We use the Triangle of Life every day, TSX, and several other, many of the products. I have an autoimmune disorder, and when I'm not on the Triangle of Life, specifically the Fucoidan, I'm ill. And I feel very, very sick. I'm just not up to par. And as long as I'm taking the Triangle of Life, and like I said, especially the Fucoidan, I am completely well, vibrant, and healthy. So these products I can't say enough about. When I was choosing a company to partner with a few years ago, I did look at many companies. And when I found Sisel, I was very excited about the products. I literally went through each and every one of them and looked at the ingredient list and how they were made. And then I met with Tom Maurer in his office for 3.5 hours, and we talked product. And again, these products are the best I've ever seen, the best I've ever used. So there's my stamp of approval. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Encompass 360. It's an antioxidant, multivitamin, mineral supplement. You can buy it right now in your back office. They are capsules. They're vegetarian capsules. There's 120. You take 4 a day, and I'll tell you more about that later. Any sort of variants from that. But the product itself is something to complement the Spectramax, and I'm going to do a good comparison, kind of a side-by-side comparison for you also. But let me just give you an overview. So the Encompass 360, it's a complete wellness supplement. It's got a cutting-edge blend of essential vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, trace minerals that encompass the broad spectrum of functional and general health needs. So although we have vitamins in the foods that we eat, and hopefully you guys are eating 5 veggies and fruits a day, probably not. Not many people's diet is perfect, but we rarely obtain enough of nutrients and micronutrients in our diet to maximize our health. In fact, our bodies can't synthesize the quantities needed, and the vitamins must be acquired through the diet. And now our soils are depleted. We can't get enough of the micronutrients that we need in our foods because the soils just don't have them. So because there's a decrease in the nutritional quality of the foods we eat, the need for vitamin supplementation is absolutely necessary to achieve proper health. In fact, about 10 years ago, the Journal of American Medical Association, JAMA, recommended that every single American take a daily multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement because it's impossible to get enough of these vitamins and minerals and antioxidants from the food. So, they reversed their 30-year stance on this. This is a big deal. So everyone knows we have to supplement. So there are different types of supplements. Some people just take a multivitamin or a Centrum or a daily vitamin that their bodies cannot absorb. Something that's compressed into a hard vitamin that never dissolves, that has things like silica and other fillers and binders that aren't even on the label. And so many millions and millions of Americans are taking these vitamin pills every day, and it goes in one end and it goes out the other in the whole form. So when people say, vitamins don't work, I tried them, it's probably because they bought something over the counter at Walmart or Price Club or something like that, and it was $10 for a year's supply, So you really have to be careful of what you supplement with, and make sure that you're supplementing with not only the proper micronutrients, but that the quality of the source of the vitamins are at the highest level, and that's where Sisel comes in. So we need vitamins, and we need to supplement every day for bodily function. Vitamins play vital roles and have diverse biochemical functions in the body. Over 2,000 functions in the body. So they're essential in mineral metabolism. They regulate cell growth, tissue growth. They're key factors in enzyme creation and metabolism. Minerals are essential to healthy well-being. Minerals are inorganic substances that exist naturally in the earth and are required by every living organism. So we need to consume a certain amount of minerals and certain types of minerals to just maintain life and exist. So each vitamin and mineral plays its own distinct role within your body to nourish you and to keep you healthy and keep you from disease. So if you don't have enough of a certain vitamin or mineral, it can lead to a deficiency. So, for example, lack of vitamin D can cause a disease called rickets, where your bones actually get soft. The lack of calcium in your diet can cause brittle bones and fractures. It's crucial that your body gets the nutrients that it needs in order to function effectively and efficiently. Now, most Americans over the age of 35 have at least one micronutrient deficiency, vitamin, mineral, or something like that. Most people have more. Now, we have an onslaught of things that we are exposed to every day, like pollution, processed foods, fatty foods, artificial colors, artificial flavorings, all kinds of things that our body has to deal with. Stress, that's a big one. So through healthy nutrition and supplementation, these nutrients are replenished. So it's important to supplement to stay healthy and just meet the requirements of those over 2,000 bodily functions. Also, it's important to supplement at high enough levels of micronutrients because the body is less likely to absorb harmful minerals like lead. Okay. Did you know that over 50% of Americans purchase a daily multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement? Over 50%. So everyone knows, most people know that they should be supplementing, okay? They do it because they know they need something for their health. It's kind of almost like an intuitive thing. Vitamins they can't hurt you, but they can certainly help you. Again, you have to make sure you're taking the right one. So I was listening to Tom Bauer Jr.'s call earlier today that he had right after, it was a Monday night call, I think 2 weeks ago, right after the Encompass 360 came out. And, he's a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge, a PhD biochemist. And along with Tom Bauer Sr., he actually helped create these products after many, many hours, months, years of knowledge from ingredients and how things work, and he spent thousands and thousands and thousands of hours studying these types of things to create a product. So this is put together with much thought, and it was also put together to help complement the Spectrum X. So the two actually go hand in hand like a partnership. They complement each other. So there's 13 essential vitamins in the Encompass 360. And there are 9 essential minerals. There's calcium, magnesium, zinc, selenium, copper, manganese, chromium, molybdenum, and sodium, and then 7 ionic trace minerals, including iron, phosphorus, potassium, iodine, chloride, etc. Now, you can go and just read the label. You can also go to your Sisel International site, click on products, click on vitamins, supplements, and then click on Encompass, and you can see the information and click on the PDF little red little label, and a PDF opens up with all the ingredients, and you can see the amounts. You can see exactly what's in there, like we do for all the vitamins and all the products, rather. Tom, our Junior was saying you still need calcium. All right, so you want to take our calcium K2 product. The Encompass 360 has 48 trace minerals in a organic fulvase base or organic fulvic acid base, and an antioxidant blend. The antioxidant blend has rhodiola for cognitive function, fatigue and recovery, bacopa for the brain, L-glutamine for the same, MSM, bones and muscle, milk thistle for your liver and heart, turmeric, it's an antioxidant, it's good for the brain, and green coffee bean extract, and let's see what grapeseed extract, these are all antioxidants, green tea leaf extract, powerful antioxidant, maquai fruit powder, and as I mentioned, fulvic acid. So those are the ingredients. And let's just talk about what some of these, well, let me talk about the amounts, okay? Tom mentioned this on the call that he had also. Why are the amounts much greater than the minimum, which is the recommended daily allowance, or the RDA? Well, you might be used to something called RDA, recommended daily allowance, and the FDA uses that, and you've seen it on the vitamin label probably all of your life. Well, that's the recommended daily allowance to avoid disease, to avoid rickets, and avoid broken bones. It's the minimum. It's just to get by, all right? It's not for thriving health. And as you guys know, you probably see articles in the paper, or magazines, or newsletters, or on the news. You know that there's so much new information out there on particular vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and especially D is really in the spotlight lately. So this formula, Encompass 360, was created for optimum health. Vitamin A, for example, is the first ingredient as beta-carotene, and there's 240% of the recommended daily allowance. Vitamin C is 830%. Vitamin D, 150%. Vitamin E, 610%. Vitamin K, 170%. Thiamine, 750%. Riboflavin, 660%. Niacin, 100%. These are very impressive numbers. Vitamin B6, 570%. Folate, as in folic acid, 150%. Vitamin B12, 1,000%. Biotin, 100%. Pantothenic acid, 380%. Calcium, magnesium, zinc, selenium, 200%. Copper, 70%. Manganese, 110%. Chromium, 210%. So these are really great numbers. This is, as I mentioned, for optimum health. Now, let me just give you an example, a comparison, and we'll start talking about the SpectraMac in a minute. So the vitamin D in the SpectraMax is 400 IU, or 100%. Let's talk percentages here. Encompass 360 is 150%. In SpectraMax, the thiamine is 25% of the RDA. Encompass 360, 750%. Riboflavin, 25% versus 660% in Encompass. Niacin, 10% versus 100%. Vitamin B6, 25% versus 570%. Folate, as in folic acid, 25% versus 150%. Vitamin B12, 50% versus 1,000%. Biotin, 10% versus 100%. pantothenic acid, 10% versus 380%. Zinc, 50%. Well, I guess it's not a big deal. They're 58%. So that's when you put them side by side, you can see the power in Encompass 360. And the best way to look at this is that the Encompass 360 is a multivitamin mineral with an antioxidant blend, okay? So think of it more as your multivitamin mineral, where the Spectrumax is mostly antioxidants. And antioxidants neutralize free radicals, support 2,000 biological functions in the body, and the two work together, okay? There's a wonderful pictorial that I just found earlier today, and it's actually on the Sisel International site, and it's www.siselinternational.com/EN for English /US/FAQ_Encompass_360 ATM. So what you can do is just do a search, Sisel International, FAQ Encompass, and it will come up. I'll also post that link on my notes for the call in the back office. So you can actually read more about it, and there's a nice comparison. There's kind of an illustration where it shows the Spectrumax, like a bottle, next to the Encompass 360, and the majority of the volume of the Spectrumax is shaded in antioxidants with a little bit of vitamins. And the Encompass, it's shaded with mostly vitamins and a little bit of antioxidants. Okay, so really the two fit together. So those were the topic of my questions to Tom Maurer Jr. tonight, and I was asking him, and I'll get into details about comparing them side by side, but I was asking him, would someone want to take one product over the other, and if so, why? And he said, no, absolutely not. The two work together. If you were just taking the Spectrumax, you wouldn't be getting enough vitamins. If you just took the Encompass 360, you wouldn't be getting enough antioxidants. You see where I'm going? So the two complement each other, and we really need all of these things. I also asked if someone can take both, and he said, oh yes, most definitely, and neither of the amounts should be modified. So until I knew that, I was only taking 2 Encompass 360 and my full serving of Spectrumax every day. He said each person should take both. He said the Encompass 360 was designed for average person weighing between 140 to 150 pounds. If someone weighs less than that, closer to 100 pounds, they might want to take one capsule less. If it's an 80-pound child, they might want to take half the amount, he said. So 2 capsules instead of 4. So the dosage is 4 capsules per day. And let's see. I also asked about the capsule form versus the liquid form. So as you know, the Spectrumax is a liquid megatonic. It's a super saturated liquid nutritional. You only need half an ounce to 3/4 of an ounce for the full dosage. And we also know that the Spectrumax is in liquid form, and in liquid form, things are more bioavailable, more readily absorbed and used in the body. And I asked, why is the Encompass 360 a capsule versus a liquid? And he said, well, it's due to the quantity. You would have to drink so much of the Encompass 360 if it was in a liquid form. And he said the vitamins are actually encapsulated. There's powder inside, super fine microground sized powder, kind of like our coffee, right? And it's highly absorbable and so much better than a tablet form. All right, those are the questions I wanted to address. I wanted to share the answers with you. Okay, so back to my presentation here. The Encompass 360 and the Spectrumax work together because they each have greater and lesser amounts of vitamins and antioxidants, vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. Okay, so let's see here. I had some things that I'd asked Beverly before I spoke with Tom. I don't want to be redundant here. Yeah, and Beverly Swanson, she is the product expert at Sisel International. She said the same thing to me about a week ago, that you would definitely take a full dose of both because you get antioxidants from Spectrum Max and vitamins from 360. Okay, I'm being redundant there. I said I wouldn't. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so now I want to cover what the vitamins do and what the minerals do, and kind of just give you some information so you can just kind of take a mental note here on why you should be supplementing. All right, so let's talk about vitamin A. What does vitamin A do? Now, you know it's in carrots, right? We all learned that in elementary school. And vitamin A helps you see, but it also helps you see in dim light. It keeps your skin healthy. It strengthens your immune system. Now, you can find vitamin A in food sources, of course, liver, carrots, cheese, dark green leafy vegetables, and oily fish. Vitamin D helps you to grow and keep bones and teeth healthy. It helps your body to absorb calcium. It's found in oily fish, eggs, fortified breakfast cereals, also from the sun. Vitamin E protects your body from damage caused by free radicals, and this is an antioxidant also, and it can be found in vegetable oils, nuts, seeds, fortified breakfast cereals, green vegetables, popcorn, and no, popcorn is not a health food. Vitamin K, blood clotting, it's good for blood clotting, good for building strong bones, found in dark green leafy vegetables, cereal, vegetable oil, meat, and cheese. Vitamin B1, also known as thiamine, it helps you to break down and release energy from food. Very, very important. It helps you maintain muscle tissue and also keeps your nerves and muscles working properly. Vitamin B1 is found in meat, particularly pork, milk, cheese, eggs, protein sources, vegetables, particularly peas, whole grain bread, fruit, and fortified breakfast cereals. Vitamin B2 keeps your skin, eyes, and nervous system healthy. It breaks down and releases energy from the food. It helps your body to produce steroids and red blood cells. Helps your body to absorb iron from the food you eat. It's found in milk, eggs, fortified breakfast cereals, mushrooms, and meat. Vitamin B3, also known as niacin, breaks down and releases energy from food, and it keeps your nervous and digestive system healthy. It's found in meat, particularly beef, pork, and chicken, fish, wheat, flour, eggs, milk, fortified cereals, yeast extract, and, as we all know, in Ultramax, hence the niacin rush. Vitamin B5, it breaks down food and releases energy from that food, found in meat, liver, chicken, beef, vegetables, cereals and whole grains, chickpeas, lentils, and eggs, also known as pantothenic acid. Vitamin B6 breaks down and releases protein from food, and it produces hemoglobin. It's found in meat, all kinds of meat, and fish, eggs, brown rice, oats, grains, sometimes with nuts, vegetables, soybeans, whole grain, bread, fortified cereals, and yeast extracts. Vitamin B12 produces red blood cells. It's very important, especially for people that live up at high altitudes, like me, where you need to produce more red blood cells. Keeps your nervous system healthy, processes folic acid, and it breaks down and releases energy from food. And it's found in meat, fish, cheese, eggs, fortified breakfast cereal. So, there's a common theme here, and that is that all the B vitamins are found in protein items, okay? Meat, fish, eggs, milk, some in soy, but primarily protein sources. Okay, where were we here? Folic acid, folate, produces red blood cells, and in babies, it helps to reduce the risk of neural tube defects such as spina bifida. And folic acid is so important, too, for mothers that are pregnant, for nursing mothers, and also women that are looking to get pregnant in the next 6 months to a year. Folate or folic acid is found in green leafy vegetables, some types of fruits like oranges and bananas, fortified breakfast cereals, brown rice, yeast extract, chickpeas, black-eyed beans, and meat, particularly liver. By the way, when I'm referring to yeast extract, guess what that is? For any Australians listening on the line, that's Marmite or Bovril. I'm sure it's delicious on toast. All right, then we have biotin. Biotin breaks down and releases energy from food. Ladies, you might be familiar with this because a lot of women take it for hair growth and nail growth. It really makes your hair start growing and your nails grow. That's biotin. It's also found in the same sources: meat, eggs, fruit, but particularly dried fruits such as currants and raisins, vegetables, whole-grain foods, nuts such as peanuts. Then we've got vitamin C. And this helps your body to absorb iron. It keeps cells and tissues healthy. It also helps with your immune system. Of course, it's found in fruits and vegetables, especially sweet potatoes and green vegetables. Those are a great source. Now, I'm not giving you all the sources or else this would be a really long call, just kind of hitting the highlights. Sodium chloride, that's salt, regulates fluids in your body, helps your body to digest food. And potassium helps regulate your body fluids, lowers your blood pressure. Calcium builds strong bones and teeth, keeps your muscles and nerves functioning. Most people don't know that. They just associate calcium with strong bones and teeth. Blood clotting, and of course calcium is found in milk and cheese and fortified bread and flour and green leafy vegetables and nuts and sardines. Magnesium breaks down and releases energy from food, keeps your muscles and your nerves functioning, and also keeps your hormones balanced, keeps your parathyroid glands functioning, and controls the amount of calcium in your blood and bones. And this is found in green leafy vegetables, nuts and seeds, cereals, grains, dairy products. I'm not going to go through all the minerals. Let me just tell you about iron produces red blood cells, and we do not have iron in the Encompass 360, so a good source for iron is red meat, dried fruit, nuts, whole grain, green leafy vegetables such as watercress and curly kale, dark red vegetables. And then, of course, we have zinc, copper, manganese, molybdenum, selenium, chromium, iodine, phosphorus, etc. So that gives you an idea of what your body needs. As I mentioned, the vitamins support over 2,000 bodily functions daily, ongoing, 24/7, nonstop in your body. Did you know, a little trivia here, did you know that children have a reserve of antioxidants? So ever wonder if you've had a child or seen a child that eats zero vegetables and zero fruits? They won't eat any vegetables or fruit, but yet they don't get sick and they stay healthy. How does that happen? Well, I guess, Mother Nature knew. God created little perfect beings with a reserve of antioxidants. Well, those reserves go away when they hit their teens, and there's a huge demand for micronutrients in the body due to growth, especially around puberty. So this vitamin, by the way, Tom Jr. was telling me, is really designed for kids over 10 years old. He said 10 to 14. Now, if you are giving it to the Encompass 360 to a child, like you said, make sure that you cut the dose in half. So, 80 pounds or so, half the amount. So 2 per day. All right. I just got a question. Did you find out if my 11-year-old daughter can take Encompass 360? Okay, it looks like I just answered that. She takes Spectrum X and well at this age. Okay, so for that question, go by weight. 11 years old. I'm a little rusty. She's probably near that weight. So you can give her 2 if she's about 80 pounds, and if she weighs more, you would go up from there. If she weighs less, maybe just start with one, especially if she's already taking the Spectrum X. And what I just mentioned is that, kids till they hit about teenage years have that reserve of antioxidants. So that's great. I'm glad you are supplementing your daughter's diet with the Spectrum X and looking out for her, because there is such a demand on kids when they hit that growth spurt, and they need a proper diet. They need supplementation also. All right, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to cover here. All right, I'm going to end the call. I do have additional information on the Spectrum X if you'd like to know more details versus the Encompass 360, but for purposes of the call, I'll go ahead and end the recording here. If I can get my controls to work. All right, well, let me try my phone and use the keyboard.